JinPingMei Original Version Chapter 7 Part 2 Miss Young angrily scolded fourth Uncle Zhang. By the way, his mother-in-law Zhang Si, relying on his young nephew Zhang Bao, wanted to keep the woman's things and devoted himself to protecting the people in the street. The son of the official was promoted to a successor. Ruo Zhaoqi has something to say. I don't want to hear that it's Simon Kingdom, but I know he is. Those who controlled the government were unable to move. It is better to break the plan than to use all possible means. Then he came to the woman and said, my wife should not marry Simon King, but still think that I should marry Shang Juran. He is from a Shili family, and has farmland and land. Living life is better than marrying Simon King. That guy has been in control of the government for many years, and is a ruthless person. Seeing a decent lady in his family, she is the daughter of Wu Qianhu's family. In the past, did you do big things or small things? Moreover, there are 3 or 4 wives in his room, except for the one on top. The girl doesn't count. When you go to his house, there will be a lot of people and a lot of talk, which will make him angry. The woman heard the words and knew clearly that Zhang Si was a liar. He wanted to express his love, so he pretended to say, since ancient times, there have been many ships and they have not blocked the road. If there is an eldest daughter in his family, I would rather let him be my sister. However, if there are many people in the room, as long as the husband makes the decision, if he likes it, there is no harm in having more people. If the husband doesn't like it, he will only be a slave. Everyone has a hard time. Besides, among wealthy families, which family doesn't have 4 or 5? You old man, don't worry too much. I'll let you live in your past. It makes sense. It doesn't matter, Zhang Sidao. It's not just this one. He is most accustomed to beating and slaying his wife, and he is also a provocateur and trafficker. If you don't like it, you ask the matchmaker to sell it. Can you bear his anger? The woman said, fourth uncle, you are a bad old man. Male. Although Zihang was in great danger, he would not beat his diligent and trouble-free wife. I went to his house and made sure the house was settled. I couldn't say anything inside or outside. How dare he be a slave? Zhang Sidao, I'm not the one who asked about it. He has a 14-year-old unmarried daughter in his family. Sincerely, I'm afraid that if I go to his house, I'll make him angry. The woman said, what does the fourth uncle say? If a slave comes to his house, it will be big or small. Small is small, treat the children well, and are not afraid that the men will not be happy, and are not afraid that the daughters will not be filial. Don't say a word, then. It doesn't matter if there are 10, Zhang Si said. There is one more important thing. This person has not behaved well and is sleeping outside. Flowers and willows. It is both fictitious on the inside and real on the outside. So few people are in debt. I'm just afraid of trapping you. The woman said, fourth uncle? You old man. Worse again, as a young man, it was common for him to engage in romantic activities outside. How can a slave woman manage a lot of things? As the saying goes, money is a rare thing in the world, but will it mean that a rich family will remain poor for a long time? Besides, marriage and everything are determined by pre-existence. You old people don't need to worry about it. Zhang Si saw that he couldn't talk to the woman. When it came to eating, he said a few words, so colorless. Eating. I drank 2 cups of tea and got up to go. There is poetry to prove it. Zhang Si broke up with Chu Yan for no reason. Who would have thought that marriage would be the first one? The beautiful woman loves Simon King, and she is always busy talking about it. Zhang Si returned home in shame and disgust with his mother-in-law. He waited for the woman to get up, pointed at his nephew Zhang Bao, and tried to seize the woman's box. Cage. Stop talking nonsense. On the 24th, Simon King saluted. On the 26th, invite 12 monks to chant sutras and burn souls. It was his girl who took the initiative. On the first day, when the woman was about to get up, Zhang Si invited several neighbors to come and talk to the woman. At this time, Mrs. Su was leading the young men of Simon King's family to accompany her, and was guarding the 10 or 20 military prisoners in the mansion, carrying women's bed tents and dowry boxes and cages. He was stopped by Zhang Si and said, "Don't carry Baoshan. I have something to say." He agreed. Neighbors came in to see the woman. After sitting down, Zhang Si spoke first and said, "My dear neighbors, listen, Madam is here, isn't it?" "It's my turn," Zhang Long, to say. "Your man Yang Zongxian or brother-in-law Yang Zongbao are both my nephews. Unfortunately, my nephew died today." "No, just make money for nothing. Someone is advocating for you. And that's fine." Zhang Nei's second nephew, Yang Zongbao, was young and had a career. "The obstacles are all on me. He was born from the same mother as you, a man. Doesn't he have a share in the property? To all of you today. My superior neighbor here just opened your box and took a look at it with the eyes of everyone. Everyone can see whether there is something or not." When the woman heard this, she burst into tears and said, "Listen, everyone. You are a bad old man. Isn't the slave plotting to die maliciously? Man, I am embarrassed to get married today. It is known to everyone that he has money in his hands, but he has accumulated a few taels of silver. All on this house. I didn't take the house with me. I left it all with my uncle. Housework and other items were not moved at all. It's just outside. I owe 300 to 400 taels of silver, and all the documents and contracts have been handed over to you, and you are asking for money from home one after another. What more silver is there?" 2 times, Zhang Si said. "It's okay if you don't have any money. Now I just opened the cage for everyone to take a look." "Yes, you still. Take it. I don't want it from you," the woman said. "Don't you want to see your shoes and feet too?" It was in chaos, and I saw. The girl came out from behind on crutches. Everyone said, "Girl, come out." They all sang in unison. The girl returned the blessing and accompanied everyone. "People sit down." The girl opened her mouth and said, "My dear neighbors, I am his daughter, and we are not separated from each other. So why don't you say it to me? Where the dead one is also a nephew, and the living one is also a nephew. It hurts to bite all 10 fingers. Don't call him a man now. There is no money in the house, but he has 100,000 taels of silver. You can only look at him. There is no one around him, like a young girl or a young woman. Why are you preventing him from teaching him how to get married?" The neighbors shouted loudly, "Girl, you are right." The mother-in-law said, "Could it be that? Could it be that the things his mother's family kept with her were also kept by him? He never said anything to me behind my back. He said that I would protect him, but he also wanted to be fair. Road, to tell you the truth, my nephew-in-law is usually kind and righteous, but I can't bear to leave her. She has a gentle nature, otherwise it will be old. I don't care about him." That Zhang Si glanced at the mother-in-law and said, "You are so fair-minded, phoenix without treasure. No place to fall." Just this sentence said that the mother-in-law was really ill, and she immediately became angry. Z became furious and designated Zhang Si to curse. "Zhang Si, don't talk nonsense. Although I can't be the head of the young family, you old glib. Is that Liao replaced by for the son of the young family?" Zhang Si said, "Although I have a different surname, my 2 nephews are my sisters." "Sister, you are an old biter and an outgoing girl. How come you are so angry at one end and so angry at the other?" The girl said, "You are cheap but not honest. Shame on the old dawbones. What's your plan for leaving a young woman in your house? It's not about lust. It's about conspiracy. Heart, enrich yourself with money." Zhang Si said, "I'm not looking for money. I'm just afraid that Yang Zongbao will grow old and be unable to live. Number, it's like you, an old killer, lead a small, yellow cat with a black tail." The girl said, "Zhang Si, you old flower root, old slave, old fan. You lie and talk nonsense. When you die tomorrow, you won't be able to use the rope to carry you." Zhang Si said, "You are such a gossiping old slut. You earn all your money to burn the tail of a target. No wonder you have no children." The girl became anxious and scolded her. Said, "Zhang Si, you are a thief of old Kangan, an old pig and dog. I have no children. I am worse than your mother who lives in a temple and raises monks." And to the Sun Taoist priest, "You are still sleeping." At that moment, The two almost came to blows, thanks to the neighbor's persuasion. Said, "Uncle, just leave the girl alone." When Zhu'er saw the two of them shouting together, she led Simon King's boy. Accompanying them, they also sent all the soldiers to the prison to drive people to make trouble. And they carried the woman's bed tent, dowry, boxes and cages with all their hands and feet. Lifting it, a gust of wind moved it away. The angry eyes were wide open, and he was speechless for a long time. It's not a problem for the neighbors to see each other. After appeasing him for a while, everyone dispersed. On the second day of June, Simon King had a big sedan chair, 4 pairs of red gauze lanterns, and his brother-in-law Yang Zongbao had a bun on his head, wearing green gauze clothes, riding on a horse, sending his sister-in-law to get married. Simon King rewarded him with a piece of brocade-ended jade ribbon. Son, 2 girls, Lan Xiang and Xiao Luan, followed to make the bed and fold the quilt. The young boy Qin Tong was 15 years old and he was also brought over to Fu. Attendant, on the 3rd day, Ms. Yang's family and her 2 sisters-in-law, Meng Desao and Er Sao, came to celebrate the birthday. Simon King and his aunt Yang. My mother has 70 taels of silver and 2 rulers. Since then, there has been constant contact between relatives. Simon King tidied up 3 rooms in the West Wing and arranged them with. He makes houses, ranked 3rd. She was named Yulu, so everyone in the family called her Sanyi. I rested in his room for 3 nights in a row. Night. Exactly. There are still 2 new people in the gold selling account. 2 old things appear in the red brocade quilt. There is poetry to prove it. How can you see the sentimental sign? It will teach people that they are not blessed and it is difficult to eliminate it. Wherever the wind blows, Lizzie, Chanjuan is in the willow branches every night.
Alright, this part of the story ends here.
Want to know what happened next? Let's listen to the breakdown next time.